Part 1. The first strike, it starts small. One light flickers, then another. Then the entire skyline goes dark. You think it's a power outage, maybe a storm, maybe the grid failed. But your phone has no signal, your internet is gone, and somewhere far above you something is already left. You don't hear it, not yet, but it's already too late, because the first weapon in a nuclear war doesn't explode on the ground. Part 2. EMP strike. At exactly 03:17 a.m., a missile detonates 400 kilometers above the Earth. No fireball you can see, no mushroom cloud, just a flash, invisible to most people. And then everything electronic within a radius of up to 2,000 kilometers dies. Cars stall mid-road. Planes lose navigation systems. Hospitals lose critical equipment. This is called an EMP, a burst of energy that fries circuits instantly. No warning, no sound. One device, one detonation. An entire region goes dark. Short, silent, brutal. Part 3. Detection. Now imagine you're Colonel James Walker, 52 years old, U.S. Strategic Command. You're 60 feet underground in a bunker in Nebraska. At 03:18 a.m., your console lights up red. Incoming. Not one missile, not two, 37. Each one traveling at around 24,000 kilometers per hour. That's Mach 20. Faster than anything you've ever seen. Time to impact, 26 minutes. You don't get to think. You don't get to hesitate. You have one job. Confirm retaliation. Part 4. Retaliation Doctrine. Because here's the rule, and this is the part most people don't realize. Nuclear war isn't about winning. It's about making sure no one wins. It's called mutually assured destruction. If one side launches, the other side must launch back. Immediately. Automatically. Why? Because if you wait, your missiles might be destroyed before they ever leave the ground. So at 03:19 a.m., less than 2 minutes after detection, the order is given. Launch. Part 5. ICBM launch from North Dakota, from Wyoming, from submarines hidden deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Within seconds, hundreds of intercontinental ballistic missiles ICBMs are in the air. Each one carries multiple warheads. Not one bomb, several. This is called MIRV. Multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. One missile splits into up to 10 warheads. Each one hits a different target. Do the math. One missile, 10 cities, and there are hundreds of missiles. This isn't escalation. This is annihilation. Part 6. Global trajectory. By 03:25 a.m., the sky above the northern hemisphere looks like something out of science fiction. Arcs of fire crossing oceans. Silent. Invisible to most people on the ground. But satellites see everything. Governments know exactly what's coming. Cities are already being prioritized. Not random. Never random. Targets are chosen years in advance. Capitals. Military bases. Industrial centers. Ports. Airfields. And yes, population centers. Because destroying the ability to fight also means destroying the ability to function. Part 7. Civilian perspective. Meanwhile, you're asleep. Or maybe you're awake, scrolling your phone, wondering why the signal dropped. You have no idea that somewhere above you, a warhead is already on its way down. Speed. Around 7 kilometers per second. That's about 25,000 kilometers. From space to ground in under 10 minutes. No sirens yet. No warning system fast enough. Just time. And not much of it. Part 8. Re-entry. At 03:32 a.m., the warheads begin re-entry. This is the moment they become visible. Streaks of light tearing through the atmosphere like meteors. But these aren't meteors. Each one carries the explosive power of 100 to 500 kilotons of TNT. For comparison, the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 was about 15 kilotons. These are up to 30 times stronger. And there are dozens heading toward major cities. Part 9. Detonation. At 03:34 a.m., one of those warheads reaches its target. Let's say a city of 10 million people. It doesn't hit the ground. It detonates in the air about 500 meters above the city. Why? Because an airburst maximizes destruction. The fireball expands instantly. Temperature at the center? Several million degrees Celsius. Hotter than the surface of the sun. Part 10. immediate effect. Everything within a radius of 1 kilometer is simply gone. No rubble, no survivors, just vaporized. Buildings, cars, people, gone. Then comes the shockwave, a wall of air moving faster than sound, flattening structures up to 5 kilometers away. Windows shatter 20 kilometers out. People are thrown like ragdolls. This is the part movies don't show accurately. It's not dramatic, it's instant. Part 11. Thermal radiation, and then the light. A flash so bright it blinds you even if you're kilometers away. Thermal radiation. Skin burns in seconds. Clothing catches fire. Anyone looking directly at it. Permanent blindness. It happens faster than you can react, faster than you can understand. Part 12. Aftermath begins. By 03:40 a.m., the survivors, those outside the immediate blast zone, start to realize what just happened. Burn victims, broken bones, internal injuries. Hospitals, if they are still standing, are overwhelmed within minutes. Doctors don't have enough supplies. Electricity is unstable. Communication is down. And this is just one city. There are dozens more, all hit within the same hour. Part 13. Now scale that up. The United States, Russia, China, NATO countries. Between them, there are over 12,000 nuclear warheads as of 2020. Not all would be used. They don't need to be. A few hundred is enough to collapse civilization, and in the first hour, that's exactly what's happening. Part 14. Submarine strike. Let's go underwater for a second, because some of the most dangerous launches don't come from land. They come from submarines. Ballistic missile submarines can stay hidden for months, completely silent, completely undetectable to most systems. Each one carries up to 16 missiles. Each missile carries multiple warheads, so one submarine can destroy dozens of cities, and you never see it coming. Part 15. The human factor. Meet Ivan Petrov, 29, Russian Navy. He's been underwater for 47 days. No sunlight, no contact with the outside world except encrypted orders. At 03:21 a.m., he receives one. Octentate. Confirm. Execute. He doesn't know if Moscow still exists. He doesn't know if his family is alive. He just knows the protocol. And within minutes, he turns the key. Part 16. Second wave. The ocean erupts. Missiles break the surface. Engines igniting midair. And now a second wave is on its way. Because nuclear war doesn't happen in one strike. It happens in layers. First wave. Disable and destroy. Second wave. Ensure nothing recovers. Part 17. Escalation spiral. By 04 a.m., early warning systems detect more launches. This is where things spiral, because now countries that weren't hit in the first wave start making decisions. Do they join the conflict? Do they stay neutral? Do they launch preemptively, fearing it'll be next? This is the most dangerous moment, not the first strike, the reaction. Part 18. Chaos in command. In a bunker somewhere, a decision is being made. Launch or don't launch. Wait or act. Every second matters. But every second also increases uncertainty because communication is breaking down. Satellites are being targeted. Command structures are fragmenting. And when humans panic, mistakes happen. Part 19. Missile defense. Some countries try to intercept incoming warheads. They fire interceptor missiles designed to hit incoming warheads mid-air. It works. Sometimes. Success rate. Estimates vary. 50%, maybe 60% under ideal conditions. But in a full-scale nuclear exchange, with decoys, countermeasures, and dozens of simultaneous targets, it's not enough. Not even close. Part 20. Inevitability. You might stop a few, but the rest, they get through. They always get through. And each one is a city. Part 21. Dawn. By sunrise, let's say around 06 a.m., the world is unrecognizable. Major cities are burning. Infrastructure is collapsing. Power grids are down across continents. Millions are dead. Millions more are injured. And the war? It's not over. Not even halfway. Part 22. What comes next? Because what comes next isn't just destruction. It's something worse. Something slower. Something that doesn't end in minutes. It ends in days. Weeks, years, and the next phase? It's where survival stops being about luck and starts being about what's left of the world itself. By 06:10 a.m., the fires are no longer separate. They're merging. Entire neighborhoods are burning at once, pulling oxygen inward, feeding on themselves. This is called a firestorm. Not just a big fire, but a self-sustaining system that creates its own wind, its own weather. Wind speeds can hit 150 kilometers per hour. Hot air rises, cold air rushes in, and anything that can burn will burn. People don't outrun this. They suffocate. Part 3. You're still alive. Somehow. Maybe you were far enough from the blast. Maybe you were indoors. Maybe you were just lucky. But now you step outside, and the world is gray. Ash falling like snow. The smell of burning metal and plastic. Silence, broken only by distant sirens that may or may not still mean anything. Your phone is dead. Your car doesn't start. The city you knew doesn't exist anymore. This is Hour 3. Part 4. Radiation. Now comes something you can't see. Radiation. Not the immediate flash that already happened. This is fallout. Tiny radioactive particles thrown high into the atmosphere during the explosion, now drifting back down. They land on rooftops, streets, skin, and they keep emitting radiation for hours, days, longer. This is where it gets deceptive. You feel fine at first. Part 5. Fallout spread. The direction of the wind now matters more than anything. If you're downwind of a strike zone, fallout can reach you in under an hour. If you're 30 kilometers away, you might still be in lethal danger. Dose matters. Exposure matters.
Stay outside too long?
You're already counting down. Part 6. Shelter. Emergency broadcasts. The few that still work begin repeating one instruction: shelter. Now. Basements, underground, thick walls, distance and shielding. That's what reduces radiation exposure. Even a few centimeters of concrete can cut radiation by half. But here's the problem. Most people don't know that. And even if they do, they may not have time. Part 7. Lin Yus. Meet Lin, 24, Hanoi. She's not in a blast zone. Not yet. But at 06:25 a.m., the radio cuts through the static. Possible nuclear detonation. Avoid exposure. Remain indoors. She looks at her phone. No signal. She looks outside. The sky feels wrong. And for the first time, she understands. This isn't local. This is global. Part 8. Atmospheric effects. By 07 a.m., satellites, the ones still functioning, are tracking something new. Smoke. Not just from one city. Dozens. Each firestorm is injecting millions of tons of soot into the upper atmosphere, the stratosphere, about 10 to 50 kilometers above Earth. And once it gets there, it doesn't come down easily. It spreads globally. Part 9. Nuclear winter. This is where the science turns from immediate destruction to planetary change. Soot blocks sunlight. Less sunlight means lower temperatures. Lower temperatures mean crop failure. This is called nuclear winter, and it doesn't start in years. It starts in days. Part 10. Agriculture collapse. Within 24 to 72 hours, temperatures in some regions could drop by several degrees Celsius. Doesn't sound like much, but agriculture is fragile. A drop of just 2 trees during growing season can reduce yields by 20–40%. Now imagine that across entire continents, food supply doesn't collapse instantly, but it starts breaking quietly. Part 11. Panic. By mid-morning, around 9 a.m., panic spreads faster than radiation. People rush stores. Whatever is left is taken within hours. Water, canned food, medicine, gone. Supply chains already broken. No trucks, no coordination, no communication. Cities rely on daily deliveries. Without them, they last days, maybe. Part 12. Military response. Governments try to respond. Military units deploy where they can. But here's the reality. Most command structures are damaged or destroyed. Units are cut off. Orders are unclear. And in some cases, the military is dealing with its own losses. Coordination becomes chaos. Part 13. Air power. Air Forces attempt to regroup. Surviving aircraft take off from intact runway. Their mission? Assess damage. But fuel supplies are uncertain. Prepare for further escalation. But fuel supplies are uncertain. Navigation systems are degraded, and the question remains, who's still in the fight? Part 14. Communication collapse. By noon, 12 p.m. entire regions are silent. No internet, no phone networks, just isolated pockets of survivor. Information becomes fragmented. Rumors replace facts, and when people don't know what's happening, they assume the worst. Part 15. Hospitals. Hospitals are beyond capacity. Burns, trauma, radiation exposure. 3 completely different types of injury, each requiring different treatment. And there aren't enough doctors. Not enough supplies. Triage begins. Who can be safe? Who can't? That decision happens fast. Part 16. Hard choices. Some people are treated. Others are not. Not because they don't matter. Because resources are gone. Hard choices. Fast. Part 17. Nuclear plants. Now here's something most people don't think about. Nuclear power plants. There are over 400 reactors worldwide. They require constant cooling, electric pumps, backup generators. But what happens when power grids fail? When fuel for generators runs out? Or when staff can't reach the facility? You've seen this before. Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. Now imagine that happening in multiple locations at the same time. Part 18. Meltdown risk. Without cooling, reactor cores overheat. Meltdown becomes possible within hours to days. Containment systems may hold, or they may fail. If they fail, that's another layer of radioactive release. Not from weapons, from infrastructure. Part 19. Changing sky. By 15 p.m., the sky is changing. Sunlight is weaker, redder, filtered through smoke and particles. Temperatures begin to drop slightly. It feels wrong, because it is. This isn't weather. It's consequence. Part 20. Lino again. Back to Lynn. It's been almost 9 hours. She's in the basement with neighbors, strangers. They share water, information, fear. The radio crackles again. Additional launches detected. That's the moment it hits. This isn't over. It's continuing. Part 21. Continued war. Because nuclear war doesn't end in the first exchange. There are reserves, hidden weapons, submarines that haven't fired yet, missiles that were held back. And now, with systems damaged and trust gone, second strikes continue. Sometimes hours later, sometimes days. Part 22. Global collapse. By evening around 18 p.m., the scale becomes clearer. Multiple countries hit. Hundreds of millions affected. Economic systems gone. Global trade finished. Air travel grounded. Financial markets meaningless. The world economy doesn't crash. It stops. Part 23. Nightfall. Night return. But it's not the same night. No streetlights. No skyline. Just darkness and fire. The stars are hidden behind smoke, and the silence is heavier. Because now, people know. This is real. Part 24. Hour 20. Hour 20. Lynn hasn't slept. No one has. The air feels thick. Every sound matters. Every update could change everything or confirm the worst. She holds a small flashlight, battery-powered, tonight, like everything now. Part 25. Radiation decay. Radiation levels begin to drop slowly. Fallout decays over time, fastest in the first 24 hours. There's a rule of thumb. After 7 hours, radiation drops to about 10% of initial levels. After 48 hours, about 1%. But that doesn't mean safe. It means less deadly. There's a difference. Part 26. Day 1 ends. By the 24-hour mark, the first phase is over. The explosions, the immediate destruction, the shock. What remains is a damaged planet, a fractured civilization, and billions of people trying to answer one question: what now? Part 27. The real damage. And here's the part that changes everything. Most people think nuclear war is about the blasts, the fireballs. The city's gone in second, but that's just the beginning. The real damage? It's what comes after. The systems that don't come back. The climate that shifts. The food that doesn't grow. The world doesn't end in 24 hours. It begins ending slowly, relentlessly, and once it starts, there's no reset button. Part 28. Final. One day. That's all it takes to break the world. Not completely. Not yet. But enough that nothing ever goes back to what it was. And the scariest part, most of this is already planned.